Hello, 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 everyone. It's Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light. This is our third episode in 2025, and we're so happy to have Katie Steinle here to give us a forecast. I mean, everybody looks forward to this energy forecast for the year coming, so hang on tight. We're going to have that cosmic report in a minute. But before we do that, please like our Facebook page. Please go check out the Breakthrough Network Show Network. Breakthrough Show Network on YouTube and on her Facebook page, Jessica Dugas, the goddess. And we're broadcasting from her studios right now. We're so happy to see you all. Oh, there's Jennifer Soto visiting us from Ecuador. Yay, Jennifer.
Cool.
And check out our podcast, and you can get the last 4 or 5 seasons now of our podcast, and you can listen to it when you're, folding laundry or doing something else mundane. And you can get all that information from all our wonderful guests that we have every week. And also a guest host, another special guest host is visiting today, and that's Nancy Louise. And we say, and we want to send out our best wishes to Teresa, who's still not just in the right mood to come on today from some family stuff. And so we're just really happy that we have such great people to fill in. And we send our blessings out to you, Teresa. Hope you and your family are feeling better. And anyways, I'm going to bring it over to Katie. Katie is our first guest host that we've had on Spirit Sessions, and she remains with us today. And she gives us these wonderful special reports on what's going on in the cosmic weather, whether it's an equinox or this time it's for the whole year. Thanks, Katie, from the West Coast. I know you had to get up extra early for this morning. I really love having you on here. It's so great.
I enjoy it so much. And I just think that what you do and what you put out into the world is just so needed at this time. And I'll talk more about this when I get into the details of 2025. But I mean, really, truly, we're becoming so immersed in AI, right? And technology and, what is real, what is not, it's this kind of metamorphic time that we're in. And so I think people are slowly realizing there's nothing better than like real, and knowing you're connecting, with real people and, having real human experience. So I get really excited when Rhonda says that I get to come on and share my information.
We're live.
Yeah, and if I was AI, I'd look better than this.
That's right. I would definitely look like 10 pounds lighter and 20
my hair would be better. Yeah,
I love it. Well, like Rhonda said, my background is in human design and astrology and quantum biofeedback, all things energy. So this is my passion, and I'm glad that I'm able to come on today and share with all of you. If you have time, I would grab a piece of paper and a pen, and that way you can just write down, just some key dates and, things that when they happen, you might, instead of being like, holy moly, what is going on? Everything's spiraling out. The wonderful thing about things like astrology, which really is the oldest science known to man, because, that's the first thing that we did is start to realize that as above, so below. Oh, Kayla, all the way from Boston. Look at us. We're like worldwide. We're in 5 minutes. We've got the entire world covered. Rhonda's Canada, and then your East Coast, Nancy, and we've got Jen in Ecuador. Anyways, so yes, it's the oldest science. So we look to astrology, to give us some kind of forecast, some kind of prediction, right, of what we're in for this year. And I have to say, guys, buckle up, because 2025 is one for the record books.
Oh, not again. I'm sorry.
Well, I know. We thought 2020 was, a doozy. This is a lot of change. Now, change is not necessarily bad. I think people like cringe, like Rhonda just did, right? What we're learning, and we've been learning since, baby Jesus.
Okay.
What we've been learning since 2020 that really shocked us awake and, really opened our eyes is that we do need to learn to embrace the unknown and to be able to, instead of having these concrete forecasts of like financials and, all the things that we would always rely on and hope that it would just be more of the same. We're really leaning into, hey, wait a minute, I don't have to be afraid of the unknown, or, I can embrace that things can change in good ways, and I can evolve, and I can start to create the life that I really want to live, instead of just being stuck in a pattern or a cycle, right? So
I do have to inject something in this
Yeah.
moment, and that is that Katie was the true one out of everything that was heard and going on that gave me the true thing that Helene was coming. You were the one that gave me the alignment that in the astrological lineup, something big was coming in the dates and in that lineup, and we just didn't realize it was here.
Yeah.
It was coming here. And it was right in alignment. I mean, it seriously was. You did better than the weather forecasters. I mean, you really did. And I got to call that out, because I mean, I remember this day writing down and saying, okay, got to hold on. And was like, oh, you meant hold on here. Okay.
Yeah. And
so,
I hate to say it, Nancy, but we've still got some really, really strong Pisces energy through 2025. So do not be surprised if we see more flooding, more, water related events, probably a pretty busy hurricane season this year too. So, but like you said, Nancy, that's the thing. That's the empowerment of knowledge and information, right? Because like I said, it takes you out of that victim mindset of like, well, everything's spinning out, and you react.
I'm so ready on so many levels. I'm so ready to go feed others, feed other animals. The bathtub is filled with water just in case. The jugs are filled. I mean, it's like every level is as prepared as I can be.
And then the rest is faith, right?
And then you just go with it. I got books to read. I got firewood to burn, and
see how different you are now. Like we were just saying, compared to a couple of years ago, right? I think we're more engaged.
I thought I was ready then. I thought I'd been through a few things with Hurricane Andrew and things like that. You think you are until you hit the new level. It's like, okay, all right.
I have definitely learned stay humble, right? There's always another layer. There's always more, to uncover and to be revealed, kind of thing.
But this astrology update has become even more important and appreciated, Katie.
Oh, well, you are most welcome. And just the feedback that you give me, right, keeps me, inspired to continue to do this for everybody. Because I'm right there with Nancy. I think that's the thing. We're realizing we all might have our differences and difference of opinions or whatnot, but we're in this together. Yes, and Nancy was saying, you saw firsthand when you get into real crisis situation, we are all human. We are all the same. We all put our pants on the same way in the morning. And, we're here to just love and support each other. Yes. So like I said, a huge culmination this year. In fact, if you look to in Chinese astrology, this is the year of the snake. And when you think of a snake, you think a snake has to shed its skin, right, continuously, because it outgrows its skin and it needs to kind of expand. And so things aren't ever the same, when you go completely into a new skin, right? It's a whole new way of being an environment. And so think about that energy, while we talk for the next, 45 minutes or so, because like the last years that had snake energy, just for perspective, were 1989 when we saw the fall of the Berlin Wall, and 2001 when we saw 9/11. Significant, changing events where the world was never going to be the same. And I'm not saying I don't want anybody to go to gloom and doom. It's not about that. It's just to make a point, that the more you can start taking time out of your day now to just, lean into that. Hey, I'm growing, I'm evolving. Like Nancy said, I'm prepared. I'm doing all the things that I can, then you'll be ready for, whatever comes. But we also in numerology look at this year, 2025 is 9 when you add it up. And just like everything in this world is frequency based, everything has a vibration, and that's at the core. In numerology, each number, each word of an alphabet, right, it has a certain energy to it. And the 9 energy is completion. Think, 9 is the final number. So we are really wrapping up, no matter what lens you look through, there's, astrology, there's, Vedic, like the Kali Yuga. Some people are saying that that's like, I think, a 20,000 year cycle that is wrapping up this year. We're entering a new cycle. So that's the thing about the reset and the change is, we've just got, a lot of, culmination and maybe personal endings for you, right? Maybe things are gonna, just move effortlessly out of your life, maybe relationships that are no longer working. Just think of this year as kind of wrapping things up, just like Nancy said. So like you're ready, you're ready for the next chapter. Be excited about it, right? If you see things around you, like maybe your job or whatever, is going away, let it go. That's the big takeaway. I think we get into problems when we try to resist everything that's happening, and it's happening no matter what. So you can choose to fight it and be miserable, or you can choose to say, hey, I'm going to trust that the universe is setting me up in all the right ways and doing me, a favor. And this is opening the space for something even more monumental. I love this, Jennifer. Yes. Exactly. So what I'm talking about when we're looking, kind of in an energetic perspective, all the outer planets, the ones, furthest out, they're the ones that kind of impact all of us, the collective, if you will. Every single one of them is changing signs, changing elemental energy. So we've got this movement. We've had these planets in water and earth, and they're going to be changing this year to fire and air. And anybody can lean into that. When you think of, water, it's flowing, right? With earth is grounded, it's stable. So we've kind of, believe it or not, even if it hasn't seemed, like it's been, quiet, you've had time, to kind of process change, right? And, think about things before they're just, kind of there right on you. Well, when you move into fire and air, I mean, just to see what's going on in LA, how expansive and how lightning fast, things can move and spread, right? So think of that in terms of like our ideas. And, as we dive deeper into this, technology sector, we're just on the brink. So I think you're going to really see this year AI and all of that taking off, and things just, what used to take weeks will take days now. You know what I mean? So again, just so you know, and you can just start to, create tools and things to get you adaptable, and to know that you're, going to be thinking on your feet, right? You're not going to maybe have as much time to go from, I'm making this choice, to, oh, it's happening. Oh, I'm in it. Whoa. And I'm on the other side. Oh, wow. That was quick. So that said, people that are already in, like heavy fire signs, like Nancy, what are you, like a quadruple Aries? I don't even know. Yeah. She's like one for the record books. It's going to make some people even more impulsive, right? Even more reactionary. If you already have a lot of that energy in you, think about it. It's going to speed it up. For people that don't have a lot of, fire or air energy in their chart, that is going to be this will be an opportunity for self-empowerment, because you'll find yourself being able to pull deep inside and, find the strength, to really kind of take that risk that you might not have taken, or felt comfortable, or say the thing that you maybe just used to sit and ruminate about, and then, just be passive aggressive or something like that. But I'm putting it out there just because, be aware that this energy could make people, including yourself, more reactionary, more explosive, right? Just, 0 to 60. So we all need to work on ourselves and, use our tools so that we can use this in the best possible way.
And one of the things to bring up too is to remember one of the biggest things that happened with us when Helene hit was when the technology went down so fast and we lost cell signal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because people were trapped. So it wasn't you could just, step out the door and go down the street and there were people, they were trapped. So losing the cell signal was one of the biggest things. Even all the mountain people, all the everything, that was one of the biggest issues because we didn't know who was okay, who needed help. We needed that. So because of that, they are going to have to up other technology to make that rebound faster. So, we have to learn to move and flow with the changes that are happening because it's got to lift up. So we learn from our mistakes and
Well
we're able to react and support each other quicker. Just saying.
Yeah, it is true. And we'll talk about the solar flares peaking in 2025 and different things that, like real, this isn't like, oh, I'm just way out there woo woo anymore. I mean, this is real, science. Like this could impact energy grids. Nancy's got a great point. And, if large grids go out, like Nancy said, I mean, I'm not trying to paint gloom today. No. That's not my intention at all. But it's just be aware, like Nancy said, that, these things are a reality.
And also another thing, have an old-fashioned radio.
Yeah.
An old-fashioned radio. Hello. Thank God I had two, so I was able to give one to the neighbor. But an old-fashioned radio, I tell you, was one of my best friends. For days. For days, that was my contact.
Yeah.
I mean, he was everything. Thank God they gave him awards too at the Country Music Awards because it was a local country music station that stayed on with us all nonstop because it's all we had. It was wild, to be in this day and time, but it's the only connection we had.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It became your lifeline. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, you've seen just even we're barely into 2025, it started out with an explosive bang. We had Pluto opposite Mars, and that is, again, very explosive, reactionary, energy. And as above, so below, this is all, the Earth to a certain extent is experiencing, similar energy, right? And has, not that I'm not saying it's got like emotions and things like humans, but, it has to release, there's like these pressure cooker points. And like, I'm in the US, I'm on the West Coast. So, the LA fires, are very near and dear to my heart. And, just seeing that happen is such an example of, just this kind of explosive, starting it out with a bang. And just so the most concentrated energy of, what we're looking at in 2025 is probably going to be mostly March, like March, April to, like end of summer, because in March we've got, oh my gosh, we've got the North Node, Saturn, Mercury, and Neptune all coming together in Pisces. And this is like something that just does not happen, like I just want people to realize like this is, like pretty rare stuff. I think there hasn't been anything like this since like the early 60s. And look what happened, in the 60s with the revolutionary changes and, just really heightening our spiritual awareness. I think we're really moving into a time where, if you don't know already, most of us live just really from our minds, right? Our minds are controlling the show. Our minds are saying, hey, this is what I want. You got a body, go get it, that kind of thing. And we're realizing that we need to get back into our bodies because 90% of what you're taking in any given moment, your like nervous system, your sensory perception, 90%, everybody, you aren't even consciously aware of. Like your breathing, like, all the things that you're doing. Like I'm aware right now of, kind of what's behind me, that kind of thing. When you start to tap into that, it opens up a whole new world. And then you start to go into your energetic field that's expanding out of you, the electromagnetic field that makes your aura. And this is where you can really start to, like I said, start to work with your energy and find out, how you get into flow state and stay in flow state, and be able to really, make the most of what you want your life to be. Because I think most of us have figured out by now, like, you can think your way as much as you want, but if it's not meant for you, it's not coming for you. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. That's why sometimes things just fall out of the sky. And I'm like, I could have worked my whole life. I would have never in a million years thought, this would be an opportunity for me. And it's like, it's meant for me. And I'm in the right place at the right time to meet the right people, because I've worked on my energy, and that's what the universe responds to. So you might feel like, that time of year, spring, late spring, it could start to feel like everything that you once knew is slipping away. It's like, what is happening to my world, to my reality, to, my life, like just a lot of, like I said, change is kind of the theme of the year. And if that does at all start to happen, or you do start to, feel like that, because there is going to be so much, flux going on in the world, just trust and know, like I said, it needs to go. The systems that are crumbling because they're, hundreds of years old, and they might not be working any longer for where we are evolving into, right? We were going to have this lightning speed of AI that's going to open up like a whole new way of being human. And we've got, the only way to, be able to calibrate with that is if we do clear out. This is shadow work. This level of Pisces is going down deep and looking at all those little nasty emotions and trauma that you shoved down because you didn't have time, or you just didn't, have the strength to deal with it. If you are clogged up with that kind of mucky, dense energy, you're not going to have the space to take in this light, this fire, this air, right? That's really, pushing us into a new way of existing. So, so do your work, and, it will go well, and use your tools. If you don't have tools, I mean, we can, talk about a couple things that work for me or work for you guys, a little bit later. I want to let you know too, big thing. Just want to go over a couple big changes that, like Nancy said, we will notice. No getting away from that. This is happening this is globally, right? This is all over. So with these energies being fast and being volatile, in summer, Uranus, which is the planet of unexpected change, shock, awe, awakening, like it's like the volcano, that kind of goes off just to create change and to keep things evolving. It's going to be moving from Taurus. This is every 6 years. It moves, it changes signs. That's grounded, right? Gemini is our thoughts, our communication, right? All of that, moving from Taurus into Gemini. And so think about our minds, and now you've got like lightning. That Uranus is like lightning. So like what that's going to do, like I said, you can start to think, AI breakthroughs, your own breakthroughs in making leaps in our consciousness.
UFOs.
Yes, Uranus is
Exposure.
linked to UFOs. That's very, yep. Definitely. Well, let me put I'm glad you brought that up, Rhonda, because what's interesting is back up until the late 1700s, astronomers, all they could see, measure as far as planets and things that are affecting us in the sky was with the naked eye. And Uranus was the very first planet that was discovered that was beyond what our naked eye could see. And so it is associated with really taking our awareness of what is out there. I mean, we're talking multi-dimensions, right? 3D, 4D, 5D, going all the way. The sky's the limit with Uranus, and this impacting our mind. It's huge. The other interesting thing is, good morning, Joy. Good to have you here. The other thing very interesting about Gemini, I'm talking US here. When you look back in US history, every major war we've had has been when Uranus has been in Gemini. We had this placement when we had the Revolutionary War, when we had the Civil War, when we entered into World War II. So not to say, again, like this is going to happen or anything, but be awake and aware that, to use Uranus's words, I love Illinois. I got a lot of family in Illinois. Be awake and aware to propaganda, to, what is being communicated, right? Because I think we're realizing, with a lot of the stuff that's coming out now, like I was, watching a lot of the drone stuff that was going on the East Coast. And then, you started to have people say, breaking, video footage down and going, this is AI. This isn't even a real capture, and then they were analyzing it and saying, okay, this is real. But it really made me awaken to, just because you're being fed it by the news or, whoever, use your discernment. Gemini is curious, it's like question everything, because that could be what causes conflict, is a miscommunication. It would not surprise me, just given this kind of energetic placement. And like I said, with Gemini being air related, you could see like the drones, right? Like things that have to do with air travel, things that have to do with air, weather events being kind of highlighted this year. There would be a little bit more focus on that element. So, so just knowing that, right now, we're moving into this time period of like massive expansion, and it's going to be really important to be grounded during this time, because there's not a lot, like I said, we had a lot of earth energy element that we were being held in, and that does give you kind of that connection to the earth. And like you're moving a little slow, a little more methodical. We're not going to have that as much. So we're going to have a lot of mental energy. So if like I've noticed my anxiety has increased significantly, in just because, the energy is kind of sitting up here instead of sitting lower, in your body. So just, again, use your tools, find your tools to stay grounded. For me, like breath work has really helped me immensely, because it's kind of a great tool that I can be out and about, you know what I mean? I don't have to be in a certain environment or whatever to do it. And I can do it daily. I can do it in the moment. I can do it whenever I just need to kind of tune my focus from so much outward focus to, going inward. And like right now, where we have the pause on, TikTok, and I know so many people that are just openly addicted, they're like, I spend hours, just blindly, scrolling.
Just a question. You can't get it now in the US. Is that it? We still get it up here.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know I'm the worst person to ask, because I am not on TikTok much, but it just got banned. But so if you go on TikTok, it says, right now you don't have access, but I guess Trump, who pretty much is in office, has said he's going to bring it back. So that's what you get, is a little disclaimer that says, for right now, you don't have access.
Oh, just one more point. If there's another conflict, just know that Canada will not be the 51st state.
Oh man, I thought you were going to join.
Oh no, you can join us if you want. I know Michigan already wants to, but no. Last time you guys got in a fight with us, we burned the White House. Just gonna say.
Oh, burn, baby. Maybe that's what that Gemini Uranus activation is. Right?
I'll just call all my friends in the US who want to come to Canada. We'll just stand on the border and just throw flowers or something. Yeah.
I love it.
Feed you poutine and donuts, and you'll all just go away.
Hey. It's a good thing Rhonda has a large property. Right. We can all bring our own trailers.
Yeah.
To a convoy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh gosh, I know. I would not be surprised if even territories and communities look different at the end of this year than now, because of, we'll get into it, but Pluto and Aquarius. Oh, good. See, Joy. Yeah, same. I mean, and that's the thing, when people like me that don't typically have anxiety, are really feeling anxiety, my heart goes out to, because I have a lot of very close loved ones that struggle with severe anxiety, depression, things like that. So we're in this together, and please share in the comments, or Nancy and Rhonda, if you guys have, just anything that really works for you.
Well, the other thing that works for me too is that you can be a participant in Katie's group, and weekly you get the frequencies that very much I come online and I put the frequencies on when I'm doing my morning exercises, when I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I put the frequencies on, and it helps my body balance out to incoming, which is it's a fabulous thing. For $25 a month, you get the weekly frequencies, you get a group meeting together where we discuss all this in-depth stuff with a fabulous group of people. And it's like, it's such a gift. And
thank you, Nancy.
I'm just saying, I mean, that is very much a part of, that is where the information comes from. That's where we mind meld together and go, hey, this is all what's coming together here, and help us ground and get a grip so we're ready for the next round.
Absolutely. I'm not saying this just to promote it. I couldn't agree with you more. The level of support and just healing and empowerment that goes on in the circle is, and it's who you're looking at now. All three of us, there's people all over the world. So it's wonderful, because it's like you can come together and you're in all these different places and you all have these different things going on. And we balance and we synchronize, right? And we support. And so you get done with just 1 hour out of your day, and you just feel like Nancy said, like, I got this.
Yeah.
The frequency she's talking about is the quantum biofeedback. You guys, I mean, this is just going to become more and more prevalent. Like I said, all the major research universities right now, this is the hot button, because what they're finding is everything comes down to frequency. Every cell in your body has its own unique vibration. And they're finding when they can measure our voice when we speak, it provides a culmination of everything that's going on with you on a physical level, an emotional level, an energetic, mental level. And it gives more detail than like a blood draw. And it'll tell you exactly where you're out of balance and where you're in balance. And so then we can tailor perfected resonances. So like if your liver's off, say your liver's sluggish, you'll listen to it and take it in, and it'll be like, hey, liver, this is how you're supposed to sound. So it allows you to heal yourself, right? You're not popping pills with side effects. You're literally able to come back into your own, homeostasis. And like Nancy said, these are the kind of things that, you need to have stuff that you can grab, that you might not have time to go to the store or, whatever it is. But this is the kind of stuff that can completely reset you and help you clear out all that stagnant energy that needs to go, but it just doesn't know how. And it's nice because that's something you don't really have to do any work. It's more about you just sitting back and receiving.
And what I guess most people don't realize, that when they bring their frequency up, they influence the collective. Just like that, like I say, always call your angels in. If nothing else, it brings your frequency up, which affects everyone around you, and that affects everyone around them. And it's just like a ripple wave effect. So no matter what's coming in and what energies are going down, we can combat them by raising our frequency, by not watching the news, which is not the news. It's what they want us to get in, what frequency they want us to tap into to bring us down so we're easier to manipulate. Watch other things, watch nature shows, watch the spirit sessions of View of the Light, watch all the wonderful healers and all the ways you can heal yourself. Because no matter what the stars say, we are the masters of our own world, and we can change the world by just changing ourselves.
We will.
Our frequency.
Yes, ma'am. That is so well said. And I think that you will start to notice more and more this year, especially, that there are becoming almost like two distinct timelines, if you will. And it's like, which one do you want to, be in, right? I mean, there's, you talk about 3D, and then, people moving into more of a 5D awareness of multidimensionality. But the way that you can do that, to move from, you can choose to be like Rhonda just said, where you're, I've got a couple people I know that they're just living off the news, and they're always in panic and anxiety, and feel like things are completely spiraling out. And that's what you'll see, if you're vibrating at that level, that is going to be your existence. Or there's people that are putting in the work, right? Expanding their consciousness, which is just light. Just think about like all the solar flares and the massive amounts of light that are coming our way. That's all when we're talking about 5D, or, just increasing your awareness, so you're more awake, and you can start to see that you are always being given signs. Synchronicities happen, right? Like these things, like I said, where you're like, oh, I would have never saw that coming. But because you're open and you're aware, you notice these little subtle, little markers that you can still move within your free will. But the universe, has a destiny for you. You have a destiny for yourself. There are things that you came here to do, and to be. And so, it's gonna become more of a choice point of, what you want to, what lens, what pair of glasses do you want to see the world in? So I'm so glad that you brought that up. And I mean, even looking around right now, at the world, there's a lot of, governments that are collapsing. I mean, there's several right now that are in this process of collapse because, the power with Pluto, I'm sure a lot of people have heard this, because this is like the biggie. Pluto is the most, outer planet, and it is what starts any cycle that we go through. And it's 200 years to move, 234 to move all the way, through the universe, and all the different archetypal expressions, right, that it's beaming down on us. And sorry, I was just reading the enjoyed this amazing flow. I love it. Oh, I love it. But anyways, so Pluto is power in Aquarius, moving into Aquarius, is power back to the people. And so you're going to see more people, like Rhonda said, questioning and saying, no, I'm not going to just automatically buy into that because somebody else said it. And feeling empowered to start to rise up and to protest things that they don't agree with. And I'm not advocating, everybody go out and, start war or whatever. I'm just pointing these things out, because if you see these kinds of things, don't judge, don't opinionate that it's automatically bad. It might be what needs to happen for that area to grow and to restructure and to rebuild, right, in a way that does incorporate more what people currently need, right? Hiding in the salt cave. Hey, I couldn't think of a better place to spend my birthday. I like it. She's gonna be high vibe. We wanna hang out with Kiki after her birthday, because like Rhonda said, she's gonna be spreading the love. Okay, so a couple more things. And you guys stop me if, depending on time. But I want to cover Saturn. This is a biggie. Saturn and Neptune. Again, these are, the outer planets are going to affect all of us. They're moving from Pisces, into Aries. And this is going to impact us all year. But it comes, they really come exact in July. So we still have them in Pisces, the end stages of Pisces. Pisces is delusion. Again, it's like, what's real, what's not. It's like a fog. Sometimes you're like confused. You don't know what to believe. Like I said, when I was watching, the drone footage, and then somebody was pointing out, oh, what you just saw wasn't even real. You have this kind of like, whoa, how do I ground? You can feel like it's hard to really get your footing. Well, once it moves into Aries, Nancy, you can attest. Aries is the initial sign of the zodiac. It is the fire starter. It is the warrior. You do not mess with an Aries in your life, right? You do not want to make them mad. So this is going to change everything, right? So Neptune coming into Aries, which is the physical body. Again, you're going to start to notice, even if you guys have been fighting and going, oh, there you guys are all woo woo and blah, 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 you know, you're going to start to have things happen, because when Neptune's affecting your physical body, you're going to be more aware of subtler energies, right? The extrasensory perception, you know, psychic abilities, you know, things like this. It's really taking it to a personal level. So 2025 is really going to kick off a massive spiritual awakening. And especially if you look at, if you do have your astrology chart, if you have any, you know, planets that, if you look on your chart, if they're like 0 to 3 degrees of a cardinal sign, and that would be like Aries, a planet 0 to 3 degrees, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, you are going to be activated, you know, and probably in a way that's going to just naturally inspire you to step up in a leadership capacity. Aries leads, right? They're the, you know, one that takes the baton and starts the race. Right. Saturn and Neptune, Neptune moves into Aries at the end of March. So we're still kind of in this transitionary window. Like I said, you know, and I'm feeling it. I know if you guys tune in, you are too, of like a little bit of like confusion. And I think once you see like Neptune move into Aries, you know, like the Hollywood glamour, you know, that dazzle and like, whoa, they live such a magical life. Like that's going to fade out, right? You're going to have more of this like coming back down to, you know, reality. The world now looks like the bad guys are winning all around. Oh, believing in Aquarius has given me faith. Oh, you just gave me goosebumps, Kiki, because it's true. It's true. Like Rhonda said, the power to the people. We are the ones really creating this, and we can say, hey, we're okay with this, or we can say, no, we're not okay with this. And I think that's playing out more and more, where you are seeing people stand up and going, no, that doesn't work for me, especially the younger generations. It's like God could come down out of the sky, and if they don't agree with it, that, you know, they have no problem going, no, I'm not going to do that thing. But embrace this as this year plays out, and you start to feel more of a kinesthetic connection to not just be in your mind, not even just be in your body, but start to be aware of the energy moving through your body, the energy around you. Best thing to do, get on nature. If you're in a quiet place, I'm lucky. I live in Seattle, so I'm, you know, 5 minutes from the woods, and I'm out there every day. And, you know, there is something pretty magical when you are, you know, just calibrating with that perfection of, you know, the planet and just all the subtle breeze, right? And you really start to feel that through your whole body. I actually have Neptune naturally in my first house. So if anybody has any questions, like, come to me, because it is going to awaken you in a lot of ways. Like when people are speaking, you might be able to tune into what they're not saying. You know what I mean? Think about that. It's going to be more of the subtle kind of energy, very self-empowering if you let it, you know, and you don't get, you know, in your head about it. This Pisces is, you know, wanting you to get out of your head and just get into the oneness and the wholeness. So we're still in that energy. So, you know, being aware that you have these fragments. I mean, most of us have gone through trauma. And so you always hear people talk about your inner child. That's like a mainstream one, you know, and your inner child didn't get all the needs that it needed, right, met, and it got hurt a lot, you know, and you were told no, even if you were like, I don't understand why. So, you know, just doing things like that, like going in and doing work. You can find guided meditations on YouTube and healing those parts of yourself. Again, you're freeing up space for all this fire and light to really, you know, lift you up into a whole new timeline, and you'll start to see everything around you completely shift. So Yeah, Saturn and Neptune, interesting, because Nancy was talking about water and hurricanes and things like that. So Saturn is boundaries, Neptune is water. So it does make you wonder, Saturn, with Neptune, being together, are we looking at sea levels raising or lowering? Are we looking at new land masses, being discovered that would alter, sea levels? Like, it'll be interesting to kind of just watch and see, if any of that plays out this year. Now in June, we could see some volatility in like the financial markets. We've got Saturn and Neptune will be they're together hanging out, and then we've got Cancer and Jupiter together hanging out, and they're going to be squaring each other, like really putting tension on each other. So it will rebound. Don't, it's not the end of the world, but just, things you might want to just have in your head. Was somebody going to say something? Oh, I thought I heard one of you guys say something. Please interrupt. Yeah, if you guys want to. Otherwise, I'm just trying to get it all out. One interesting thing, at the end of June, we've got a new moon in, oh, yes, I'm glad you tuned in, Truth Wave. Have a great day. We've got a new moon in Cancer, June 24th, 25th, and Jupiter is going to be right there with it. So if you're looking for a time this year that, to really start something new, to really feel like you're going to have that wind at your sails, and behind you, and you could really take off, that's the time to put it out there in the universe.
Which is what, June? Is that
June. The new moon at the end of June. It's like June 24th.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Because you're
Cancer and Cancer sun. Okay.
Sign. So yeah, start just thinking about it, and just know by the time we get to like mid-August, most of the challenges of 2025 that we're going over will be, will be past. So we'll have some time to kind of assimilate and like integrate, because this is going to be a lot. It's going to really take off quickly. And I kind of touched on Pluto moving into Aquarius for the first time in 200 years. It's going to be here now till 2043. So for a lot of us, the rest of our lives, Pluto it shapes everything. It's going to give us the foundation, and Pluto transforms anything that it touches. And so this is going to, the way that we innovate, the way that we connect, that's Aquarian energy, lightning, breakthroughs, developments, expansion. Pluto is a big revealer of truth. Pluto is all about getting to the truth. So we just wrapped up Pluto in Capricorn, and that has to do with like the structures, the systems. When Pluto first goes into a sign, that's what you typically will see, something big happen. Pluto first moved into Capricorn in the US when we had, back in 2007, we had the financial, breakdown of the markets, and, the recession, and all the housing and everything that, crumbled. And so, there could very easily be, some kind of, I'm thinking like technology disruption, with it moving into Aquarius. I mean, we have moved into Aquarius. We literally just did this. So these are big energies. So they, play out over, months, years. But yeah, don't be surprised at, maybe see an increase in cyber attacks, or, just, fraud, or, things like that. Just be aware. I just had, my sister reached out last night, and yeah, she just had, gosh, I know probably 3 people just this week alone that have had like either fraud on their bank statement or some kind of, hack or cyber attack. So for you personally, like, again, it's that rebellion energy. It's like stirring up, like, hey, what is working for me in my life? What is no longer working for me? You're going to have the empowerment, to make those changes and to get, things and people cleared out of your life. So really lean into it. And this is about taking your power back, So the big thing Pluto and Aquarius is going to do for you on an individual level, it's really going to reward authenticity. We again, we don't want to see people dressed up, on a movie set that's not reality. We want to see people that, are on TikTok or whatever, and they're real and they're just, living their life. And that's what you're going to connect in with more and more. So express yourself, be free, let your freak flag fly. Like, this is your time and you will actually be rewarded for it. So, if you need to cry, cry. Like, I get so frustrated when people, start to get emotional and they go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry." And I'm like, don't be sorry, please. Like, show people that it's okay. The more that we do this and not have to do it alone, like, that's how we heal. And find your tribe. Aquarius is all about, there's people out there that are like-minded, that will support you. Like Nancy said, with our circle, like, I mean, we've got each other, no matter what time, day, space, whatever, we have each other. And there's nothing feels better than feeling like seen and heard, truly seen and heard. That's what Pluto in Aquarius is calling out to you. And, oh, Deborah, thank you so much for coming. I just enjoy, Deborah's a great person to follow and to watch. Oh, and Sarah. Yes. Thank you, Sarah, for tuning in. So appreciate that. So many good people on today. Okay. And let's see, we've got a few more minutes. I just want to also touch on the nodes, the collective north and south nodes, kind of like set the background frequency. And they just switched. They're going to be in south node in Virgo, north node in Pisces for the next 18 months. So think about when you're in the grocery store, right? And you're just doing your thing, and they've got the cheesy background music playing, and it's like you're aware of it, but you're not really tuned into it. You're just doing your thing and picking out your groceries, right? But it's influencing you, right? When they flip it over to Christmas, all of a sudden you start like, oh, singing Christmas carols. Think about the nodes in that way, so they're just going to be subtly, it's that background frequency. You're going to be tuned in a little bit more. So this is really going to be helpful for getting you out of your head and more into, the energy. Pisces wants you to expand the unknown, step in and embrace, your wholeness, that we are all interconnected. You've probably heard of the butterfly effect. They've proven it in science now. Like, a butterfly here in Seattle flaps its wings, and then, whatever, hours later, one on the other side of the world flaps its wings in the same way. It's because there is everything connecting in frequency. Oh, Deborah's okay. So she's a Pisces. So yes, this will, and my nodes are, I'm having a nodal return. So my nodes are South Node Virgo, North Node Pisces. And so I'm kind of like, yay, because I'm trying to get out of my head. This is where the anxiety and the depression and all the things exist, people. It really does. The more you can get out of your head and quiet that little tyrant in your mind that's telling you you're not good enough and comparing you with everybody else, and you know what I mean, beating you up all the time. No, if you're in your body and in your energy, you can't hear it. Or at least it's subdued.
And the other thing to share too that's important is to prepare for all these moments. These aren't for doing just like live YouTube episodes or TikToks or whatever you're doing. This is little moments of listening to the frequencies, grounding your energy, color, picking the color you wear today. Yeah. When we get into all this Aries energy, red is not your best friend. Okay. So blue calms red down. So this is coming from the Aries, unless you're exhausted, you don't pull the red so much. Okay. Wear the calmer colors. These little things help to the grocery store. So setting your energy up just to go for groceries, just to go pump your gas. Your energy that you set in that moment is going to spread all around you, and it matters. It matters everywhere you are and everywhere you go. So it's not just for the big stage moments. It's for every moment. When you drive the kids to school, every moment you're sending your energy out. And that's why we're given tidbits of importance on how to help guide you. And that's what's so important.
Oh, Nancy, that was great, especially coming from you already being in this, having very, very strong, fire and air energy. Is there anything else beside, because that's great. I didn't even think, but you're right. Color alone.
And right on the Breakthrough Network, see, they just did a color class with Brittany, which was going through all the colors and what they represent to you. And this is so important because just these little things matter.
Yeah.
It really matters. I teased with Rhonda back then at the Christmas show, and I said I only wear red once a year because it's usually not a good idea to put red on the Aries. It just, unless I'm really drained, will I balance out from that red? But usually I have too much already. So it just, I will lose my temper on somebody. So if that's going to happen, then you wear more blue, more common, more purples, more cooler tones, things to calm me down. If you don't have time to play in the dirt or something, but I always recommend playing in the dirt because that is a great place to really ground your energy, even if it's a plant pot or whatever. But if you get your fingers in some dirt, 5 minutes, you'll calm down. Between that and some bubbles, blowing some bubbles.
I miss
that is a godsend. That is a godsend from the dollar store, man. So get yourself some bubbles, line them up in the back room. Anybody having a bad moment, just hand them some bubbles. Say, go outside for 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. You won't even remember what you were mad about. It works.
It works. I had to see a
practical.
therapist once, and after losing my son and dealing with all the trauma, and that's one of the first things she gave me. And I'm like, "You're giving me bubbles?" And she said, "You just blow on it." And it's true.
As a hairdresser, I had a lineup set up for how somebody came in and what they needed. I had a beads of hematite. Do you need the ground real bad? I gotcha. We need this. Okay. You just 5 minutes. Let's just take a break. And everybody, and it changes. We got the tools. Now we just got to use them.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. And I think Joy had just popped on and was saying she's considering whether she should stay in Illinois or go to Maine. And I think I just West Coaster here. Being by water is just incredible for being able to tune into, the Pisces energy, right? Pisces is water. Just to, feel when I stand and face the ocean, I tap into, you really realize like you are this small in a universe that is this big. And it's just such expansive, cleansing, clearing, beautiful, beautiful energy. So, my immediate reaction when I felt into that was, yeah, I think that would be really good for you. I don't know if anybody else wants to comment, but you have to tune. This is the thing. What the energy that we're swimming in this year is about. Pisces is the stepping down, and that's the guru where we give our power away and we ask somebody else, what do you think? What do you tell me? You're psychic. I'm not psychic. Oh no. Neptune's going into your physical body. You will be psychic. So, really start.
And you don't want to move from fear. Don't be running from anything because it'll just follow you. So you move where your heart is happy. You move where your heart is happy. That's all.
Well said. Rhonda, are we, I think we're about at the hour.
Yeah.
Oh, you must be muted. She's talking. She's talking. We can tell she's talking. There she is. She's back.
Nope. And she's gone.
Wait.
No, I see. Oh, wait, now she should be on. There she goes.
Okay. No, we have time because this is a show I don't put into our repeats, so we have a little bit more time. So Melinda's saying she keeps slipping on her own bullshit. Well, yay.
It is all of us.
My plan.
It
And
really
and,
is.
and Joy says, yeah, so true. Go with your heart. That's
Yes.
you got to think of the places, and if you feel like this place is causing you sadness, move to the place that you think will cause you joy. I mean, you already know where you want to go by asking that question.
Right.
Yeah, it is true.
If you want validation, there's your validation. You already know what
Mhm.
you want.
Really
You
hard.
know a place that would be.
Yeah.
And like for, me
Okay.
saying, how my connection with the water, that's me.
Yeah.
There's other people that are like, oh gosh, no, I need to be in the desert. I don't need water has
Or
the
sometimes you're up in the mountains and the water comes and finds you.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it comes. Hmm. Yes.
Uh,
Make sure we put in, make sure it's put in so they can get on the Patreon with you.
Oh,
yeah, you
right.
just let us. Yes, I want you to tell us where we can find you, and I won't ask you the other three questions because
Nah.
we'll get it next time for the spring equinox. Hopefully, we
Nah.
can get you back for spring
Oh,
equinox.
yes, I'd love it. I'd
I
love it.
love you. Okay, so
Patreon is real
That's awesome,
simple. You
too.
just go to patreon.com and you can search my name. It's up here on the screen, Katie Steinle. And there's 3 different tiers. So, I mean, it's really like for the price of a cup of coffee, like Nancy said, even if you want to do the circle, level, you can do where you get frequencies every week, and I'll send, this is what we're focusing on, and a nice breakdown so you can really, tune into the attunement. And it's a game changer. I've got a client that she's been coming every week for 2 years, and she was just telling me this week how much those frequencies and our time together has shifted her life, like completely shifted her life in all the ways. And it is what it is. We're moving into this time of frequency. So like, Nancy said, if you want to get ahead of it, these are the things to really start to tap into. And I know just from my own experience of, like I said, going through a lot of significant trauma where I couldn't even get out of bed, and doing the biofeedback was the thing that actually helped me be able to kind of sit up and then take a step. And, like I firsthand can say,
yeah, because science tells us that frequency affects water, and since we're made of so much water, it affects every single cell in our body positively when we're listening to these tones. So
yeah.
I can personally test it. It really helped in my physical and mental healing. So yeah, I think frequency is great. Frequency
Yeah.
is light and frequency, man.
Oh, yeah.
Get outside and
That's
listen to nature. It's the best frequency ever.
They say the future of healing it is now, because like with the biofeedback, you're starting to see this stuff happen. It is light and sound based, because now they're finding that they don't even have to do invasive surgeries. They can do frequency tuning to target like specific cancer cells or specific things in the body. And then your body actually is able to heal itself. Go figure. That's how it's, we're meant to have, a self-sustaining system. So yeah, I love this stuff. And if you are interested in really waking up and really getting grounded into, your purpose and, just getting, meaning in life and, trying to make sense of things, schedule a one-on-one session with me for human design or astrology. It's just my website's katiesteinle.com. And we'll have some fun together. And again, game-changing stuff. We are in these times where, like I said, this is going to be 25 and even 2026, but 2025 is really the kickoff of, things are not going to be the same. And you need to start embracing that and not clinging to the old and the past. Those days are behind us. And for the better, right? Let's make it for the better, because we can choose what we want to do, with the way that things are moving. The one last thing, since we have time, that I'll just say is I talked a little bit about solar flares, but the peak, I'm sure, well, maybe, I don't know, not everybody's into this stuff like me, but every like 10 years, the sun goes through a cycle and it peaks, and we're in a peak cycle. And so that's why you've been hearing more stuff about the solar flares, and it will probably peak in 2025. So you think that things were crazy this year, it's going to probably be even more intense. And that affects our energy grids. It affects things. Think about what that does to your nervous system. You know, we are extensions of the earth, and we are extensions of the earth. And so, you know, the earth is absorbing, trying its hardest to absorb and deflect as much of this stuff that it can. But we've got more satellites than we've ever had before, right? So think all, I mean, we're swimming in this, you know, all of this electromagnetic, you know, radiation, whatever you want to call it. And so allow yourself to, you know, not fight it, not, you know what I mean? Give yourself extra space, because your nervous system's going to tweak sometimes, and you're gonna, I got a headache and I don't even know why, or I can't sleep, or I'm sleeping all the time. You know, it's your body trying to adjust. And like Nancy said, with playing in the dirt, literally the magnetic ley lines in the earth, when we you know, set our feet on the ground, our optimal resonance of our heart and our mind, alpha brainwave state, is one of the Earth's magnetic natural ley lines. So when you, that's why she said when she is gardening and digging in the dirt, it calms her, you know, because what you're doing is you're synchronizing with the Earth's natural rhythm. God knows, you know, I mean, of course, you know, why did Source create this way, right?
And not everybody has a yard to go out and play in. That's what I'm saying, a plant pot. Then maybe go massage your plants, rejuvenate, get some fresh earth for them, give them some coffee grinds. I mean, you know, get your hands in.
Get your
know
hands
it when you need it. Just get your hands in there and you'll feel better.
Yeah, it is. It's literally science, you know.
Yes.
So, and Deborah, yeah, this is kind of cool, because right now in the sky, it peaks, I think, on the 25th. But we have, I think it's technically going to ultimately be 7 planets that are going to be in a lineup, literally doing this, like creating a horizon. Now, half of them you can see, again, like I said about Uranus, with the naked eye, and then Uranus and Neptune, Saturn, I think you might not be able to see as much unless you have a telescope or, you know, binoculars. But look up, if you have clear skies, you'll see Mars, and Mars is red. So you will see it. It's crazy. And then you can see Jupiter.
Jupiter is so bright right now.
Yeah.
And Venus is amazing right after sunset. It's so bright in the west, and Jupiter is just about 45 degrees from that up right now. Beautiful.
Yeah, and then Mars would be on the other side.
Just on the other side, about the same distance apart. But yeah, it's red.
And it seems like it's an incredibly rare event. I mean, we do have like kind of these planetary where they, you know, kind of come together and align every several years, but not like all 7 planets. Again, it's just going to, it's telling you that if this is how our year is starting, you know, to have this alignment, there is a divine orchestration to everything. You know, this is like that. And then, like I said, some of these other events that I just kind of talked about, them all coming together. I mean, you know, astrologers are like shaking their heads. Some of them are going back and going, I can't even find in history like when that has occurred before, you know. So this is big stuff. And I think I'm glad Deborah brought that up, because I think just acknowledging and making it so that we literally can see that the planets creating this, you know, specific line right directly above us is letting us know, you know, connecting with that energy and you know, find out. I know, same Deborah, and
oh yeah, Cloudy City, both of you.
Yeah. But I have seen 1 or 2. I just haven't been able to see them. I'm going to Catalina this week, and I'm excited because I'm really hoping I'll be able to see like the entire Milky Way. Who knows though? I don't know with the fires.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was just concerned about for a minute there.
Well, you could come up to my place, but it's going to be minus 30 here. So,
no,
so
thank you.
Well, that's breathe in and your nose nostrils freeze together with it.
Oh my gosh, that's insane! Wow.
And also to remember to stock up too, and know your local farmers, Because one of the wonderful things that also occurred greater from Helene was like the area I live right outside of Asheville in Leicester, which is the farming district. And I have met so many wonderful people who make all their homemade medicines, which I've been learning a great deal about this year. And I love like tasting and trying different things. This one makes this salve, and this one makes this remedy, and so on. And this is all very important for us to have for our future is to go back to the past, to where things were in their natural form, in the tone form, in the light frequencies, and with the herbs and the supplements, and we'll be okay. And have a little extra cash tucked away. Everybody have a little extra cash, because one of the first things when technology went down, you can't get to your bank account.
Mhm.
And I don't care how much money you have. It doesn't matter if you can't access some of it to get some supplies. So put a little cash aside and line up your CBD, whatever you need. Get it, put your stash aside over there for that too. That don't hurt either. Line
Yeah.
up your stuff. Just, without panic, just with ease and grace. Ease
Mhm.
and grace, just be smart. Have certain things lined up. Have your just in case. It's important. It's your grown-up panties. Just putting up your grown-up panties on and
Spoken
just
like a true Aries.
do what we got to do.
Yeah.
That's all. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Katie, for coming today. We really
It's
appreciate it. And we'll catch you after the end of the show, and we'll make sure we line you up for your next date with us, because there's so much to tell and such little time. But please check her out at katiesteinley.com. And there's links to her Patreon, or go to Patreon and find her there under her name. And of course, as always, there are notes in our show notes that are attached to whichever place you're listening and watching us from today. Thank you all, and thank you, Nancy, for coming in and co-hosting with me today. I really enjoyed it. And Katie, we will see you on next time.
Sounds good.
Love you guys. And
Have a great week, everyone.
see you next week. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.